Hi, I'm Devaney Lozer. I'm a professor of English here at ASU, and it's my pleasure to be able to talk to you for a few minutes today about professionalization and graduate study. I have a few slides, a few pieces of advice, some tips and tricks that I hope will set you up for greater success as you move through your degree program. The first piece of advice is pretty straightforward. It's read your email, period. And especially the emails that come to you from the graduate program in English, things that have to do with your moving forward successfully through the program. You want to be on top of those daily. And I know that will be an extraordinarily large amount of mail that comes in, but I hope that you'll put your eye on things and figure out a way to sort through it and get to the most important things right away and act on them. In terms of deadlines and things you want to know, you're going to want to stay on top of those, definitely. The next piece of advice is sort of stepping back from why you're here. You're joining a profession and higher education, academia. We have professional periodicals that it would be a very good idea for you to start reading on a regular basis, weekly, if not daily. And I would say especially periodicals like the Chronicle of Higher Education or Inside Higher Ed are good places to keep your eyes. You want to know what's going on in the business of education and of higher education in the same way that a business person would be reading the Wall Street Journal to know what were the main issues, the hot button issues of his or her professional life. You should start doing that as well. You should educate yourself on what the main concerns are, problems are, and ways forward, predictions for the future. It's important from the first day you arrive to start thinking beyond your degree program. And we have resources here to help you do that, that you should absolutely take advantage of. Obviously, you need to do well in your courses. You need to teach classes if you're a TA, and you need to successfully move to a thesis or a dissertation, writing, defending that, and all of those steps that are part of your degree program. But those are stepping parts of a process to get you to the degree that will lead you to a profession and a professional life beyond here. So I think it's important as you're working on all of those steps to think about what they're leading toward and what you hope they're building toward. We have things, initiatives like Connected Academics to help graduate students think beyond academia for a job path. Given the employment prospects now in higher ed and traditional tenure track employment opportunities, I think those for many of you are probably a plan A, and I hope you get to that plan A. Many of our graduates do. But the smart ones also are thinking of a plan B, thinking of a skill set that they can develop and use in what's sometimes called alt-ac, alternative academic employment as well. And Connected Academics is about thinking you through those. So thinking beyond your degree program. What is it that someone's going to want to see in a candidate for your plan A or your plan B jobs? And how can you get there from the moment you arrive? What things can you be doing to prepare you other than writing a good dissertation, other than writing or thesis, other than doing significant important work in the classroom? These are a given that you will do these. What will help you get noticed is the things you do beyond that. And that's what we'd like you to start thinking about from the moment you arrive. Whatever it is that you decide to do to build toward that, and your mentors should be helping you think that through, make sure that you document what you have done. And Digication, the new e-portfolio system, is a great place. You should start keeping a CV and learn about CV categories and things that you want to build to go on there. And these are things, again, that you should be talking about with your mentors and your peers. Look at CVs, study CVs. Academia EDU is a good place to go to see those. Although, where is a department you might like to be employed ultimately if you are planning to go on in academic work? Look at the junior faculty. What do their CVs look like? What are on them? What kinds of things helped them get the job, and what details did they keep track of to get their foot into that next stage, into that next door? Take advantage of what ASU offers regularly, and I want to look at my list here to make sure I don't miss any of these. We want to make sure that you are taking advantage of speakers that we offer, and on average ASU has 5 speakers in literature and cultural studies per semester, for example, just to go in one direction. Find events within and outside of your subspecialty. Go to them, watch, learn, ask questions, stay for the reception. This is not just about getting access to ideas that are in progress, ideas that are pre-print. It's learning about how to present ideas orally from people who are going to provide positive and negative examples. Not all speakers are going to be equally fun to watch. It's going to be a chance to network with those at ASU and beyond, to show people here that you are engaged intellectually, that you are thinking about the profession and the network of ideas and people that are a part of it. You can find these events on the department's news and events site and in the weekly emails that are sent out. Also take advantage of workshops. ASU has 3 to 5 workshops for graduate students on professionalization in any given semester. Attend them or suggest them. If there's one that you want, there's a professionalization workshop that you particularly feel in need of, suggest it to the director of graduate studies or to your mentors. Take 3-credit professionalization courses that ASU offers. How to teach writing, how to teach literature, writing for the profession, or the job market workshop course when you are advanced to degree and ready to head into that direction. Also, there is preparing future faculty offered through the graduate school. That is an excellent thing to take advantage of. And also the digital humanities, the Nexus Lab, and the kinds of for-credit workshops and not-for-credit workshops that you could take there. These are things that you should be planning and building in. I know they often seem like extras, but they are the kinds of extras that are going to help take you to the next level as a professional. And this brings me to the question of time. Obviously, the things that I'm suggesting are going to take a lot of time. And I know teaching, coursework, your own research are where your energies are most pulled. But I want to make sure that you think about how all of these things add up and to balance or juggle your teaching and research and these extra activities, and thinking about how they all fit together in a greater tapestry of who you are working to become. In particular, teaching, in my experience, can really take a lot of energy away from research and away from attending those extra things that might not be, at this point, your best spent time. Often I've heard graduate students talking about, should I take that extra class for that extra few $1,000s? And I know sometimes there is no financial alternative. But where there might be a financial alternative, I hope that you'll think about it, and I hope that you'll consider that taking an extra course now might end up costing you money later and taking more time to degree if you go beyond that 5th year because you've been teaching an overload and you haven't been able to put the time into the other parts of the degree program to succeed there. So I would encourage you, if you can all financially afford it, not to take on extra teaching at ASU or elsewhere, but to try to focus any additional time you have into research and to finding ways to teach in a way that is more streamlined and to get tips from professors and experienced instructors about how to balance, how to juggle these various responsibilities that you have while you're here. You're also going to want to develop a social media presence. This is an entirely different talk, but I just want to mention it here as something you should be thinking about doing. You'll want to attend professional conferences at ASU and beyond. ASU, often ASU English, there are conferences going on in many areas, and this is a great way to get a sense of work in progress, to get a sense of what it means to present your work orally to a group, and also just to understand what it means to belong nationally or internationally to a cohort of scholar teachers. Oftentimes these conferences are places you can present as a graduate student. Again, I would ask your mentor. And even just to attend, not to present, is a great thing to start with, to see how they work, to see what are the rhythms of a conference, how does work get done there. Oftentimes I think there's work that happens at the coffee breaks that's invisible work, but that might be just as important as the work that's happening in the panels. And to get a chance to start seeing that is great. Conferences usually have a registration fee. One way that you can see if you could avoid having to pay that registration fee would be to volunteer to work the registration table, which is also a great way to get to know who are the people there and what are their concerns and how do they behave. Again, some negative and positive examples, as my guess is going to come out of that for you as well. Apply for grants and fellowships. This is a very good way to show all of the people here and those beyond here that you are working toward national and international recognition, stature, and support. It shows that you are able to make a case for your research beyond the institution, and that's always a valuable thing to be able to do. Our Institute for Humanities Research has support resources for you there about how to write grant applications, how to be more successful at putting those together, and you should absolutely take advantage of that. Make an appointment with the people who work in grants and fellowships throughout the university and ask for ideas about where you should be looking for, what's appropriate to apply for and at what stage, and how to craft your application. Finally, and this is, I think, a really hard thing to understand at the beginning of graduate school, is that you need to be your own manager and your own publicist. Your mentor is there to guide you through your coursework, and I hope you're choosing your mentor and mentor your committees carefully to look at who has been successful in helping students through the program and in what ways they've been successful helping students through the program. But finally, the responsibility is with you to think of the work that you're doing as something that is being managed, that is, your time is being managed, your efforts are managed, and also publicized, things that you want others to know that you've done when you've done them well. And this is not something that ends at the end of graduate school. None of us professors who have reached the coveted tenure track positions, often considered, I know, by many people coming into graduate school, their plan A goal. All of us are our own managers and our own publicists. And you need to start thinking of yourself, your persona, in person, online, in the coursework that you do, on the page, the things that you write, at these as building toward a professional that you want to be known as in years to come, something that you'll be proud of having started 5 years from now, 10 years from now, work that you'll be able to advertise on behalf of the discipline, on behalf of ASU, we certainly hope, but on behalf of yourself as a teacher, scholar who is developing here in this program. Thanks for listening. Hope this is some useful information. I look forward to getting to know more of you and to continuing to offer any advice and wisdom that I can as you move through our program. Bye-bye.